Hello everyone and welcome back to Tea Time Crochet. Today we're going to be doing this black cat hat. That's a little difficult to say, but it has ears that stand up. It's really simple. It's basically you're just crocheting in a tube and then you're going to seam up the top flat and then you're going to just seam where the ears are to make them stand up. You could also put some stuffing in the ears and they would be a little more stiff, but I didn't do that to mine, but you could if you wanted. It's very, very simple. So I'm going to get to the tutorial now. The things that you're going to need are some worsted weight yarn. Since we're doing a black cat, you should probably have some black worsted weight yarn. I'm just going to be using this Red Heart Super Saver, and the color is Neon Flex, and I'm using this just simply because I have it on hand already. I don't have any solid black skeins of yarn right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this. I think it'll work up really cute. So that is a number 4 worsted weight yarn, and it is recommending a 5.5 millimeter hook. I'm going to go ahead and use a 5 millimeter hook, just simply because I know that's what I need for my tension for hats. You're going to need a pair of scissors, a yarn needle with a large eye, and a measuring tape. So you're going to want to measure around your head and write down that measurement. And then the other thing that you're going to need is you're going to need a hat sizing chart. So this is just one. I just typed that into Google and a million of them pop up. So I just chose 2 that I liked. And I chose these particular charts because they have the preemie size from 1 to 2 pounds all the way up to adult large. And also you want to, when you're looking at charts, you want to make sure it has the circumference and the height. So the circumference is, the measurement around your head, which is in this column, and the height is how tall the hat's going to be. So just go on Google and, type in hat sizing chart and print you off one, and then I always just keep it in my collection. That way I always have it. And it could just, be something similar to this. Since I have an Etsy shop, I like to have a variety of sizes, and I don't always have someone to try and measure it on for that certain size, so I always like to have just a standard chart that shows me. So I know that my head is 22 inches, and for an adult medium, that's 21 to 23.5 inches around. So I know that that's going to be my size. And it also says, the height is 9 to 10.5 inches. I'll have to see how it's working up once I get that far. But we may want to make the height a little higher, just so we have enough so the ears sit nicely. I'll get to that once we get to that point, and I'll let you know exactly what the height is of my hat. So today we're going to be doing an adult medium. So to start off with, we're going to do a slip knot. And I'm just going to keep chaining until I get the measurement of 22 inches. So we're just going to yarn over and pull through the loop, yarn over, pull through the loop, yarn over, pull through the loop. And I'm just going to continue that until it measures 22 inches. And that's with it not being stretched You could probably go even a little bit, maybe an inch smaller if you like your hats a little snugger, which I normally do. I like my hats to, fit my head perfectly. I don't like them to be, I'm not a really slouchy hat person, so for me, I'm going to do probably around 21, 22 inches. So I'm just going to continue on doing this, and then I will meet back up with you when I have finished that. Okay, I've chained around 21 inches, and that stretches well past 22. So we're going to slip stitch to join in the beginning chain. Make sure that you're not twisted anywhere. And then just give that a little tug. Okay, so we're going to do a couple rounds of single crochet. I'm thinking probably 5 or 6. So to start off doing that, I'm going to chain 1. I hope you're able to see this yarn okay. My other backdrop was dirty. Somehow it got a big smudge on it, so I put it in the laundry this morning and didn't even think that I was using black yarn today. So hopefully you can see it. So I chained 1, and then I'm going to go back into that same stitch and do a single crochet, and then I'm going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So just like that, and then I will meet up with you when I am to my last stitch. Okay, I have completed 4 rows of single crochet. So we have our chain stitch row, and then we have 4 single crochet rows. And now we're going to get on to the body of the hat, which is going to be double crochet. Okay, so you're going to want to, I'm going to go ahead and do a single crochet and a chain 1 for my first double crochet here, instead of doing a chain 3, because it leaves a lot nicer seam. The seam's not as prominent when you use this stitch, so I'm going to use that one, and then I'm going to put 1 double crochet into each stitch around. Okay, so 1 double crochet in each stitch around, and I will meet up with you when I get back to my last stitch. Okay, I've just done my last stitch, and now we're going to slip stitch to join in the top of this single crochet chain 1. Now we're just going to repeat this row until we get the height of our hat, which I'm going to go for 10.5 inches because that's what the chart says, and then we'll see where we're at from there. So go ahead and follow your chart, and I would choose the biggest size that it gives you, just so we have enough room for our ears to actually look like ears, because we want them to actually be pointy and stick up. So I'm going to keep going in double crochet until I get 10.5 inches. So for this first one, I'm going to put a single crochet chain 1, and that takes the place of a chain 3, and then 1 double crochet in each stitch around. And I will meet back up with you when I have completed my... Okay, so I've finished the body of my hat. I decided to go ahead and stop at 9 inches. So it's about 9 inches. And I just decided to do that because I tried it on and it's right where I need it to be. So make sure that you try it on once you get a little bit closer to where your hat size is. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to just tie this off. And what I like to do is I like to make sure that my seam is nice and centered in the center of the back of the hat. And then we're going to close up the top of the hat here. So you're going to need a length of yarn. How I usually measure it is I usually do 3 times the length of whatever it is that I'm sewing up. So I'll just, fold this over 3 times for whatever length this is, and then I'll cut it, and that should give you enough to seam your hat up. So hopefully I can get this in the camera. Just going to tuck that tail in there, and then I'll sew it up. I'll hide it at the end. It's a little bit bigger now, so it's harder to get into the frame. Okay, so I hope you're able to see this. I'm just going to stitch it closed, but I'm only going to use the front loops of each side. So here you have the back loop and the front loop. So I'm only going to go through the front loops of each side. The ones that are on the outer side of the hat. I'm going to leave myself a little tail. And as we go, this should close up the hat nice across the top, so there won't be a big ridge. And you're just going to keep going back and forth until you have sewed the entire top shut. You want to make sure that you get every stitch. So see how that makes a nice flat seam, and it's fairly flat on the inside too. so you don't have that bulky seam at the top. So I'm going to continue on and just seam up my entire hat, and then I'll come back and show you how to do the ear portion. Okay, so I finished the entire seam, and you want to make sure that you get this last little stitch right here on, and then what I normally do is I just normally will poke the yarn through the center, and then I'll just tie it off. And then I'll just clip that. Okay, so this is what you should have. It's basically just a big square. And then your ears are going to be, we're going to sew up the portion of your ears. Okay, so what you should do is you should try it on. And then, of course this is way too big for my mannequin head, but it should be fine on me. So you want to kind of work out where the ears should be, and then maybe take a safety pin and pin both sides right here. That way you just know when you pull it off where you want the ears to be. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll catch back up to you. Okay, so I pinned them, and now what I like to do is I just like to fold them over just to make sure that the ears are kind of in the same area. And mine are pretty close. I could probably go down a little bit with this one. Okay, so you just want to kind of make sure they're as close to the same spot as you could get them. So from here, you're going to take some yarn, and you probably want to take quite a bit. So I'm just going to take a length of yarn, and I'm going to thread it on my needle. And then I'm just going to line it up. So I know that I need, you know, a perfect angle from this side over here all the way to the top. So I'm just going to try and go into each stitch as best as I can, leaving a good portion of a tail to sew in later. And I'm just going to go back and forth, catching as many of the stitches as I can. And trying to secure the ears down. You could even just throw a little stuffing in there if you wanted. I'm probably not going to do that just because I don't have any on hand. But if you put a little stuffing in the ears, it'll make them stand out a little bit more. You could even like take some felt and make a little face, or you know, a little pink for the ears and whatnot. And this sewing right here that we're doing is going to blend perfectly into the black. So see, you can't even really see where I stitched it, which can be a little bit of a trouble if you're not paying attention. One thing you would do want to make sure that you don't come back up in the same spot that you just went in. Otherwise it'll just undo what you did. And you don't even have to do this sewing portion if you don't want to, but this will just secure the ears in the form that you want them to be in. So they'll stick out a lot more than if you just left them to be. I hope you're actually able to see what I'm trying to do. No, black's not the best thing, but you can't do a black cat hat without using black, so. And I actually think it turned out really cute with the little speckles in it. Don't know how that happened. Yarn seems to want to tangle today. What on earth? There. Alright, so that's one ear completed. You're just going to go ahead and repeat that for the other side. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to clip this. I'm going to leave myself a fairly long tail, And what I'll do after that is I'll run it through to the other side, to the inside of the hat, and then I will tie it off on both of these tails. I'll make sure that I tie it off and I'll knot it, that way it doesn't come out. So I'm going to go ahead and complete the other side, and then I will come back and show you what it looks like. So this is what the hat looks like with it on. I hope you can see it okay. The ears do stick up pretty well. It fits really nice. The only thing that I did not mention was that I added a single crochet edging around the bottom. I didn't film that. I completely just spaced it and went ahead and did it. But this is what it looks like finished. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.